Chapter 4. The very first step. I believe that awareness is the first step that should be taken on this journey. Spiritual teacher Deepak Chopra once stated that the key to transforming your life is to be aware of who you are. Awareness is a vitally important part of being and becoming happy. The reason for this is that awareness itself is about knowing how you are feeling at any particular time. This, of course, is crucial. If you take a diet as an example, you will need to be aware that you are overweight if you are going to make any changes. If no one tells you that you are overweight, or you simply don't realize the risk to your body of being overweight, you probably won't do anything at all. This is why awareness is so vital in the beginning to making changes in any changes of your life. What's great is that awareness is also quite simple to begin. All you need to do is ask yourself how you are feeling in any given moment and write it down. Keeping a happiness diary is a great way of creating more awareness in your life. Take time to log your feelings, just like you would log what you eat every day if you were planning to go on a diet. Here, you log your levels of happiness. The key here is to be honest. When you write your emotions down, be completely honest and open with yourself. The awareness journal will not work well for you unless you open up your heart and ask yourself what you feel and why you feel that way. Do not deny your feelings. Write them down. Split the page up into good feelings and bad feelings, positive and negative. Then give yourself an honest appraisal of how happy you feel on a day-to-day basis. By doing this, you begin to become aware of what triggers happiness or even unhappiness within you. You will also begin to notice emotional trends within you. They will be things that regularly affect your mood and sway it in either one direction or another. Think of your emotions as if on a pendulum. Awareness at first is about noticing when the pendulum swings highly negative or highly positive, because these emotions are more likely to be having an impact on your life. As you begin to develop more awareness, you will notice the pendulum swinging slightly in either direction. Highly aware people notice even if their emotional pendulum only nudges in a particular direction. The plan here is to become so aware that you are actually setting your emotions all the time, because you always know when you are feeling like you do. However, be aware that this must be a goal for you, because awareness itself is a skill. It is an art, and it takes time to develop within yourself. Awareness takes patience and a continued effort to truly develop. It will not be something that you stop learning about, because the happier you get, the more aware you must become. As you start to take your first steps into awareness, you will also begin to notice that certain things trigger your stress response. What is my stress response? Your stress response is triggered any time you feel fear. It is the fight or flight system within your body. It is designed to protect you and was originally designed to prepare your body whenever there was a threat to its existence. Much has been documented about the stress response recently, due to it becoming overreactive. Instead of being a response to a physical threat, we now find our stress response system going off to random emotional threats, and this is actually making us as a human race unwell. This is because when the brain goes into stress response, the body reacts also. In fact, the brain creates actual chemicals that it sends through your nervous system into your body, and it is these chemicals that are being overproduced and are causing disease within us. Cortisol is the most commonly discussed stress hormone, and this hormone actually affects our bodily health in many ways. Here are a few ways your body will react in stress response mode. There is an acceleration in the heart and lung action. Your skin will change between paling or flushing. Your digestive system becomes agitated. Your muscles tighten and tense. You will feel some of these sensations in your body when this happens. You will notice that it is the general feeling of stress. It is worth noting down these things that happen to your body when you feel stressed, frustrated, or anxious. For example, key areas that I spot my stress response in are: I feel my lungs tighten up, so I find it harder to breathe. I feel my shoulders tense up. They tighten, and I feel the muscles tense within me. And I feel it in my tummy. It is like a knotted feeling, or a tense feeling in my stomach. Being aware of these responses in my body increases my success greatly when it comes to achieving more happiness in my life. This is because when I feel these sensations appearing within me, I become aware that I am going through a stress response, and I begin to take steps towards relaxing my mind. The first thing that I do is breathe. When you breathe in deeply, you actually begin to reverse the effects of the stress response in your body. Breathing in deeply not only lowers your heart rate and relaxes the tension in your muscles, but it also calms your amygdala. The amygdala is the area in your brain that is responsible for the flight or fight action. Just try this simple exercise next time you feel a little stressed about any situation. The great thing about breathing is that you do it already, and just breathing a little deeper can be done anywhere you go. Nobody will notice. So once you are aware of it, try it. Breathe. A great method for this is to breathe in for 7 counts and breathe out for 11 counts. You want to aim to have a longer exhale than inhale. Just by using this simple technique, you will find yourself feeling happier, healthier, and generally more relaxed in life. You can find many different breathing techniques on the internet that can help you. Find one that works for you and try it every now and again when you feel yourself experiencing a stress response, and it will help you greatly. There are, of course, a number of other things you can do to reverse your stress response, but I will discuss these later on in the book. For now, just try breathing. Being aware of something simple like your breathing can actually have a major impact on how you feel. It has been proven that people who take time to breathe deeply actually increase their health, longevity, and general well-being. But until you are aware of your stress response, you will find it difficult to know when to use this simple yet highly effective tool. So how do we create awareness of our emotions? Log it. Write down how happy you have been today. Rate your success within a day by how happy you have felt within that day. Log how happy you felt, any triggers that made you feel unhappy, how you changed those feelings, and how you think you could avoid those negative feelings in the future. Make sure you log positive emotions too. Something that I must highlight before we move on is that increasing awareness is not only about becoming aware of things that bring on your stress response. It is also about what makes you happy. This brings me neatly onto the subject of the 2 types of happiness. The 2 types of happiness are external happiness and internal happiness. External happiness is the kind of happiness that occurs mostly in our lives when we are not aware of our emotions. External happiness is based on the belief that happiness can be acquired or achieved through the accumulation of external items, experiences, or relationships. This becomes obvious to see when we look around us. The whole world seems to be revolved around getting things or getting things done, and although external goals and achievements have their place in life, when we prioritize these goals above our own happiness and place our happiness on hold, we do not help ourselves. External happiness has some noticeable traits in the kind of happiness it achieves. Here are some of the traits of external happiness. Roller coaster highs and lows. Short-lived, instant, conditional, temporary, momentary, short-term, fake, false, addictive, trapping, fleeting, biased. As you begin your journey into awareness, you will recognize these traits in your happiness levels and notice that much of your happiness is externally achieved. So, what about internal happiness? Internal happiness is happiness that is without condition. It is the happiness that does not rely on anything outside in order to be. It is happiness regardless. This kind of happiness is about living happily, but it does not require anything to happen in order for the person to live a happy life. Internal happiness is about finding happiness in the experiencing of life, rather than in the achievement of things. You might imagine internal happiness to be like running a race, simply because you enjoy to run, rather than running the race just to take first place. The person running the race for the enjoyment of it will have happiness, regardless of the outcome, and enjoy the whole experience. However, the person running the race to win and win alone will only achieve happiness momentarily if he or she wins. Internal happiness has its own set of traits, and here they are. Unconditional, pure, genuine, passionate, fun, creative, true, easy, light, long-term, loving, freeing. This kind of happiness is the kind that I would like to encourage throughout this book. It is about making your goal happiness rather than things. When you make the goal happiness, magical things begin to happen. Life becomes fun again, and you choose to live it for the enjoyment of it above anything else. This is the key to a truly happy existence. And awareness is where we start. Becoming aware of your emotions will change your life. All of a sudden you realize the amount of rules that you have put in place for your happiness, the amount of obstacles that you have stood in the way. Happiness without rules, however, is the best feeling in the world, and what's great is that by reading this chapter, you've already taken the first few steps towards it. As you develop your own understanding of each of these sections, you can create a system for yourself from the second half of this book. Just like a diet needs to be systemized, happiness requires some systemization also. Make a goal to be as happy as you can be. Use appreciation lists. Create your own systems that you enjoy to use. Build happiness into your routine. When you do this, you create accountability in your mind. You tell yourself, I am responsible for my happiness and I am going to do something about it. You take control of how you feel. And when you take control of how you feel, things will begin to change for you. Awareness not only helps you to take charge of your life and your feelings, it also makes you feel better because you know that you are actually doing something about how you feel. You know that you are taking positive action in your life, and knowing this is freeing. Realize that you are always in control of your mind. Your mind is not in control of you. Become aware.